This last Sunday, we looked at a story from Jesus in which it's in John 5, if you want to go read it, where he meets a paralytic who has been paralyzed for 38 years. And he's by the pool of Bethesda and he heals him. If you want to hear the whole sermon, it's on our website. But the real thing I wanted to talk to you about today is that main question of, do you want to be made well? I think that for many of us, that question is deeper than we think. Like, of course you want to be made well, right? But at the same time, I think we have to go deep and say, do I really? Do I want to be healed by Jesus? Do I want to follow him now and do the things that he says to do? Because that's the path, right? Following Jesus, trusting in Jesus. That's what he's always calling us to. And he promises that this is the path to life and life to the fullest. But he doesn't force it on us. He doesn't make us accept it. He asks, do you want to be made well? Will you follow? There's a story that I love about this. I'm sure you'll hear me say it in a sermon one day. But it's a story of a guy named Charles Blondin. Now, you guys might know about this. When I told this story in California, people weren't familiar, but it's about, he was a tightrope walker. He was probably the best tightrope walker, at least one of the most famous tightrope walkers of all time. And he was known for going across Niagara Falls. That was kind of his specialty. And so the very first time he does it, everyone's amazed. There's a man walking all the way across Niagara Falls from the American side to the Canadian side, and it's not falling. But that wasn't enough. He got so good that one day he went out and on the tightrope made an omelet. And then he lowered it down to the boat, the Maid on the Mist, that goes down into the waterfall. And he offers it to someone and they ate it. And another time he goes out and he takes somebody on his back. And yet another time he goes out with a wheelbarrow. He goes out across it with a wheelbarrow and he comes back. And of course, every time he does these feats, the crowd just goes wild, right? They're cheering him. And so this time he goes with a wheelbarrow and comes back. He says, do you believe that I can do this? And of course the crowd goes, yes, yes, we believe. Do you really believe that I can go there and back with this wheelbarrow and not fall? Yes, crowd goes wild. I can just see it in my mind. And then he said, so which one of you will get into the wheelbarrow? And the crowd stops cheering. Utter silence. This is the question of belief, church. It's like, do we believe? Will we get in the wheelbarrow? Do we want to be made well enough so that when he says arise and walk, right, which he does in just a minute, we'll do it. We'll trust that even after 38 years of nothing, that God can save us. Would you get into the wheelbarrow? That day, one man did, and he knew the guy. He'd seen him do this trick a lot. He was his manager. He gets in the wheelbarrow. He takes him across. He takes him back. Crowd goes wild. The crowd can cheer, but truly only that man who got into the wheelbarrow, who had that experience, really now trusts and believes in Charles Blondin, had that experience with him. I want you just to think about that this week. Pray about it. Do you want to be made well? And if the answer is truly yes, then will we do what he says? Rise and walk, get into the wheelbarrow, follow me, trust not in money, serve the poor, care for those around you, put others first, love one another, forgive one another, all those things. Think about this week, pray about it. I'll be praying too. And I look forward to seeing you all on Sunday.